Alright. Hey guys, it's Mila Squonker, and today I will be doing a book, movie, rant, whatever you want to call it, about the Divergent series trilogy. But first, I will be doing Divergent by Veronica Roth. Now, the Divergent series consists of a trilogy and then a prequel, so I'm just going to call it a series. And, the series has been in news lately because the original plan was to have Divergent, Insurgent, and then split up Allegiant, but they're not going to do part 1, part 2. They decided to do Allegiant and then Ascendant, which threw everybody off in fandom, and including me. And so, due to the poor ratings that Allegiant got, they decided to not do Ascendant in movie theaters, but they decided to do it in, like, on TV on some channel of their choosing. And I will get to that later once we do, like, the series wrap up and my rant, and once we get closer to that premiere date, because I have a feeling it's going to be in March, because seeing the trend of the Divergent movies, how they always come out in March. So we're going to get to that once we get there. But I wanted to make a series review of the Divergent series because of the news that what happened, and then once we get into that, I will discuss my thoughts and feelings towards each and every one of the movies. So first, we're going to start off with the first book, Divergent by Veronica Roth, and this is the first book in the Divergent trilogy before 4 came in. And so yeah, let's get started. So Divergent is about a girl named Beatrice, who now goes by Triss throughout the duration of the series, and she finds out that she's Divergent after taking like a personality test to test her, see which faction she would most likely fit in due to her personality. Well, you're only supposed to get 1 and she got 3, and they call it Divergent because of that. And Divergents are apparently like bad, and they do a whole bunch of bad stuff, and yeah, like they're basically like an embarrassment to their society. And apparently during a war, they separated off Chicago, or they isolated Chicago and decided to have 5 factions. And I really can't explain it without like going in depth with it, so I'm trying my best to keep it as simple as possible. Now, if you haven't read Divergent, where the hell have you been? Because Divergent is like one of those books where you have to read it. But now I'm really questioning it, because after watching only 10 minutes of the video, or not the video, the movie, because it kept like glitching, so I decided to stop watching it. And I don't know, it's just really weird now, because I was thinking about it in my head, and I was like, Triss is a really whiny person if we really think about it, because watching the first 10 minutes of the video, I keep saying video, first 10 minutes of the movie, she really questions herself in abnegation, and, what's it called, so, she says she's afraid of being in abnegation, but at the same time also afraid of leaving her family, and there's one scene where her twin brother goes and helps a lady with her groceries, and her brother's like, why didn't you get that, or do you want to help her out at the least? And he was being like really cocky with it, but at the same time, you are that faction and that is what you're supposed to do. So yeah, so let's quickly talk about the 5 factions. If you have not read Divergent, there are 5 factions. I know I'm holding up 10, but there are 5 factions within the society that Chicago has lived in. There is Abney, which is what I am, and they're the kind people, but also farm, and like they have to do everything kind. Then you have Candor, which is the honest faction, the one I'm not. Dauntless, and that's like the badass, brave people, which I kind of fit in. Abnegation, which is the selfless, always helpful people. I could do that, but no. And then you have the Erudite. Now, Erudite is also a very interesting one, because they are the smart faction, but also the very, very shady faction is what now I'm considering it, because they want to basically be in control of the city, because technically abnegation is in control of the city, and Erudite wants to also play a factor in it. By playing a factor, they mean like really take over it. And it was it sounds like a casual trope of dystopian where one society wants to rule over another society and they have like this war, and that's what the trilogy is. And So Beatrice or Triss decides to go into Dauntless, and I could say that's the best move for her. But if she would have chose Amity, that also would have been really interesting. But at the same time, I feel like Amity is also like the same thing as like abnegation, because yes, they are helpful and they volunteer their hours very well. But yeah, so let's talk about the movie aspect real quick. Shailene Woodley does play Beatrice, while Ansel Elgort plays her brother, and they also coincidentally have been in Fault in Our Stars. In case you haven't seen that movie yet, where have you been? Miles Teller also plays Innocent. He was also with Shailene Woodley in, I think it was Secret Life of American Teenager, I think. Oh, what's his name? The guy who plays Tobias, I completely forgot his name. Theo James, had no connection with Shane Lee, so I was like, woo! He played Tobias, and I really like how Theo James plays Tobias a lot. He does show the masculinity in him, and you do see the two sides of him once we get into Insurgent. And I really like how, Theo James does play him. I also really like how Miles does play, I already forgot his name. I'll probably insert it right here. And I really like how the actors play each other. I just don't like Shailene. I don't like her acting. I feel like she plays the same type of roles throughout her career. Because, I mean, if you really looked into Fault in Our Stars and you also watched Divergent, compare those two and then come back to me about that. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess this is kind of a rant because I'm basically pouring out my feelings. I did give this book a 3 out of 5 stars on my Goodreads because so much was happening and I thought I was in love with Triss, but at the same time, I did rate it, like, I think like 2 years after I read the book, and then I came to my thoughts and I decided to rate it a 3. And yeah, so if you have not read Divergent, just like the Lunar Chronicles, it's a risky read because there is a lot of hate for the Lunar Chronicles, and now there is like a slight bit of a hate for Divergent after what the fandom news came out with. And yeah, so yeah, there's that. And also I have a big announcement to make. I will be participating in the release event for the Curse of the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Parts 1 and 2 at the Julia Barnes & Noble in Illinois. So if you do live out there, or if you do want to come and visit, please sign up. I will be there working the event because Barnes & Noble loves me. And yeah, so that's my big announcement, and that's also my rant for the Divergent series. Next week will also be consisted of reviewing Insurgent and reviewing the Legion and also reviewing 4, and then the week after that I will be reviewing the series as a whole. So yeah, that's my little rant about Divergent. I might make a follow-up to this once I actually like watch the movie, or I might just like cut right into Insurgent. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like this video, and comment below what are your feelings about Divergent and the Divergent fandom after hearing the news and after watching the movies. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.